Have you ever met someone who just doesn't talk to their parents anymore? No holidays, no calls, no explanation to anyone. And your first reaction was probably, what kind of person does that? Yeah, we've all judged that person. But here's what nobody tells you. Sometimes walking away from your own family is the healthiest thing a human being can do. And the psychology behind it? It's a lot darker and a lot more complicated than you think. Let's talk about something called family enmeshment. It sounds like a therapy buzzword, but stick with me. Enmeshment is when the emotional boundaries between family members are basically non-existent. You're not allowed to have your own feelings, your own opinions, your own life. Because everything you do, every choice you make, it belongs to the family. It reflects the family. Psychologist Salvador Minuchin studied this for decades. And what he found was that in enmeshed families, children grow up never learning where they end and their parents begin. They become adults who are terrified of disappointing people, who can't say no, who feel guilty for wanting things. Sound familiar? Now here's where it gets heavy. Most people who cut off contact, researchers call it family estrangement, don't do it impulsively. Studies show the average person spends years trying to fix the relationship first. Years of conversations that went nowhere. Years of hoping this time would be different. Years of shrinking themselves to fit into spaces that were never built for them. Carl Pillemer at Cornell interviewed over 1,300 estranged adults. And one thing kept coming up over and over. People didn't leave because they stopped loving their family. They left because staying was destroying them. Abuse, manipulation, being used as an emotional punching bag. Conditional love, the kind that says, I'll love you, but only if you become who I want you to be. That's a transaction. And this is the part that breaks people, the guilt. Even when someone knows, logically, that cutting off contact was right, the grief doesn't disappear. Because you're not just losing people, you're losing the idea of what family was supposed to be. That fantasy of Sunday dinners and unconditional love, and a place that always felt like home. You grieve something you never actually had. Psychologists call this ambiguous loss. It's one of the most painful things a person can carry. Mourning someone who is still alive. So what does this tell us? It tells us that the people who walk away aren't cold. They're not selfish. They're not broken. Most of them are survivors. People who finally chose themselves after a lifetime of being told they weren't allowed to. The real question we should be asking isn't why did they leave? It's what's happened in that house that made leaving feel like the only option. Because families don't fall apart for no reason. And sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is close a door that was never safe to walk through in the first place. If this hit close to home, you're not alone. Drop a comment below. And if you know someone carrying this kind of weight, send this to them. Sometimes people just need to hear that their choice made sense.